Hi everyone,
Hello,
welcome back.
welcome.
After the holidays, we are back with some of our videos. Now will be answering some of your questions, and others will be a result of our observations, experiences, and so on.
We have a lot to touch on in every single aspect of the twin flame journey,
It's
and
endless.
some of the topics are not so common out there, and we're gonna bring some light there, and
Today we want to speak about the twin flame who is never happy.
Yeah, the twin flame who is never happy, with a disclaimer that this video is not to torture anybody, not to judge. We are just making it, we are just clarifying some things, and also to make you aware, the person who is facing all this and doesn't know what's going on and how to adjust to this experience.
We don't want to make it sound negative whatsoever, just on the contrary, because all of us who are in the audience, in the public, let's say, of people speaking about twin flames like us, etc., we also get affected by those who are coming with the negative behavior towards all this. And we want to make it a little bit brighter, actually, exactly for those of you who are just witnessing, because it really doesn't matter the negativity that we will see out there.
It's all an experience, and it all depends on you, how you perceive things. Maybe it's not that bad, but we like to exaggerate sometimes.
Yes.
So this video will refer to all this, and it will be more clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we are speaking about here is about, this is not just in the twin flame community. There are such people nowadays everywhere, and it's becoming almost like a big trend. I'm observing it in many groups because I'm more on the Facebook part.
Yes.
Sometimes mostly just for pure, marketing purposes and stuff like this. I'm also learning myself. And there are those type of people who, it seems like, they come to ask questions, like they're searching information. They are asking for ours or your experiences, and once we start sharing with them, they start to kind of like argue and almost like counter everything that you say. So it's almost like, I'm asking, I need help, I need information, but at the same time I want to just counter and attack and go into conflict.
That's what it sounds like from the outside, but the person who is doing this is just doesn't want to feel affected or in pain whatsoever. So as soon as you touch in these parts of their life, they will start to react. So yes, we are gonna speak about this.
Exactly. These are actually people who are very much hurt. They have deep emotional traumas, psychological traumas that they have difficulty handling. And not only this, but there's something here that almost nobody speaks about, and I find that we, coming from our experience, because from the very beginning we have been interested very much into healthy lifestyle in terms of what we eat, what we do, how we connect with the world, with
The
nature.
environment.
Yes, we started to understand that it has a lot to do with the nutrients in our body. Maybe you can say more about this, because you are more of an expert here.
Well, it was all through failure and success, a mixture of the two, for a few years already. And we started with, okay, how to detox the body and mind, to the point where it became too much, and it becomes toxic again. When you do too much of a good thing, becomes a bad thing.
Yeah.
So we went into to replenish the body and mind, but it also became too much. So we finally started to understand that there's a middle path going on, and not just to eat a little bit of everything. You really need to understand who you are as a person, as a human being, on the, even on your blood level, like, and your energy level as well.
Yes.
How you use your energy, and how and who you are, how were you born, will determine what you should be ingesting and how you should be exposed to the elements in this world. So it's quite deep. And
it really is true. I even later on my investigations, I came upon scientists speaking how our emotions are controlled by certain parts of the body, and that's why it is very important what nutrients we give to these parts of the body, and this promotes a certain type of behavior. And it's not just what nutrients we give to ourselves, like if the nutrients are enough, but it also has to do with exaggerating certain things, which nowadays are promoted to us many times as healthy, but we found out as well with experience that it's not exactly so.
what is light for somebody is going to be heavy for another person,
Yes.
and vice versa. And
That's the other thing.
there's no diet or lifestyle fits all. This doesn't exist. And that's what everybody wants to do. It's like a church. Our previous video was about this, was about religion, right? So everyone wants to promote their own religion, but it's not gonna work.
No.
Each person is completely different, and there's like groups that one person belongs to more of a group than another, but even though there's subgroups, and you also need to understand also within the group where do you belong, just to be the best that you can. And another thing is that if you follow everything, you start to change your perception completely. You don't do anything. What you put inside of yourself and how you experience life will determine how you see yourself and how you see the world. And you will argue less or more, depends what you do. That's just it's crazy how we change so much.
The whole point here is to become more peaceful, a more relaxed being who can really contemplate life and connect with nature peacefully. And this is where humanity has been failing through the centuries. I feel that this is where the Lord Astral interfered. Not that all these trends are not telling the truth. They're all telling the truth. But it is just that all these things are valid for different groups of people. And we really have to figure out who we truly are and what we should properly follow to feel good in our own skin. Andre has put a lot of effort in all this, coming through our experiences, investigations, and he put a really summarized
60 to
short
70 pages long, to be
Yes.
precise.
A really short version of the first steps we need to take in this direction in our first book that we put out there. And I really hope you guys find it helpful for those who have already purchased it.
That's why we call it discovering the lost codes of your model, because it depends who you are and how your energy is and what you can do to recover your lost codes. Because once you get your codes and you adjust yourself to them, your model is renovated and you see the world through completely different eyes. Actually, through the eyes that you always should be seeing it from constantly, which is clear and right to the point. And guess what? Your intuition is going to work much better in such a state rather than obscure and not clear.
So from an unhappy twin flame to turn into a happy, beautiful creature, the first step is really this. And there's of course further. It's almost like a constant type of battle, because what the world is providing us nowadays, a big part of it is not very healthy for all of us. We are all exposed to different type of toxins due to the lifestyle. I'm going to give an example with myself. For example, as a child, I think I was 5 or 6 years old when the Chernobyl happened. And even though I am from Bulgaria and it seems like far away from Chernobyl, but because it happened in the spring and there's a lot of movement of clouds and currents during this time, especially from that area where the Chernobyl happened, this accident, if it was an accident at all this intoxication was brought to here through heavy rains, and the population was not told immediately, which is very important in such situations. If you don't take actions literally within the first 24 hours, you cannot do almost anything afterwards.
We have a paragraph or two about this as well.
On the book.
Yeah, on the book. We explained further.
Exactly. So I was affected, and everybody here was affected, and it was not depending on me. You know, these were factors that came from outside. And this is just a small example. There's many other factors that are affecting us constantly all the time, especially with the lifestyle of the human being right now at the moment. We go through a lot of and we really have to pay attention on what lifestyle we are having. Unfortunately, we have to use a lot of the mind here.
We have to pay attention to what we have been through and what we are going through, and what decisions we take in the future that will affect our bodies and minds before we open our mouth to say something or argue with somebody, because we are probably super intoxicated, and as compared to a person who is much more clear in the body and mind, they just know what to say and what to do. It's much easier to connect with your gut feeling. You know, this is probably the most easiest way to understand a part of the intuition, which in America you guys really speak about the gut feeling. You cannot connect with the gut feeling if you are intoxicated. It's very, very difficult. You think you are, but most of the sensations you're getting is just fear and pain because you're super intoxicated. But if you fix yourself, then you will get very clear observations of this world, of your relationship, and each step you take is going to be precise. And yes, you will still have these fear-based feelings, but it will tell you only to alarm you, like don't go there, or maybe you should back off a little bit, and you know, it's going to be better, much better.
I want to open a bracket here now that you mentioned fear, that during the detoxification process there's a lot of fear as well, because fears are being released. So it is normal during this period of time, if you're making a detox, to experience fear. It is okay, but you will come to a point eventually when you will just let go of it. I'm saying it because I'm recently going through another big detox in my life right now. It's happening right now.
In spring.
Yes, the best time. And I have a lot of fears coming back to me. And I know that this is because of the detoxing that I'm going through. And it's okay.
And it will stabilize, hopefully.
Yeah, I just observe them and I let them express themselves. I don't suppress them. I don't punish myself for that. But I know it will go.
Very nice.
Anything else you want to add on, babe?
I think, well,
there's much more, but
there's a ton, and that will make the video way too long. But otherwise, for more information, we also go deep in the 101 consultation for the ones who really cannot really find any answers anymore. You're confused, or maybe it's something that we didn't cover in our videos. We can really do our best. We're not gonna say it's gonna be like 100% sure we're gonna fix it, but we will do our best.
Yes, we always give 100%
yes.
of ourselves.
We usually, when we reach a dead end in a 101 conversation, we get a download and then we just know what to do and we break free. Because we are two of us, we can help each other, and it's very good.
Yes. Lots of love, guys.
Lots of love.
If you have any questions, write them down below.
Yes.
See you soon.